What, because I did last night? I don't actually post like, you know, like a bare tit. I don't know, she was sleeping last night and I took a photo. I thought it looked pretty good. And then I thought it'd be funny, so I posted a photo of it. And I don't try to do it in like a disrespectful way or anything like that. And I just think she looks good and people enjoy that stuff. Like, you know, who doesn't like titties? I don't think so. She couldn't beat me up, but I'm pretty sure she could beat up like any chick that's not like a trained pro fighter. She would smoke them, I guarantee you. If she gets pissed, you know, there's no like turning back. Marcelo's, Bastos, easy. Alex Perelson, easy. Jake Brown, easy. Fuck, dude, those guys are gonna be pissed at me. I'm like, dude, these could beat you up. But I think they know that. Jason Ellis got this radio show. Once a year, he does this big event called Ellis Mania. Like boxing, but it's all sorts of weird fights. Hot chicks fight, 3 guys fighting like blindfolded. But then he actually had a fight that was like a real fight. He was fighting like this retired like UFC fighter. My friend's a boxing trainer. My friend trained him and got him ready. So we all went to Vegas, and then like Jason ended up like knocking the guy out and winning his fight. So everyone's so hyped and everyone's celebrating. He's like, all right, come out to Vanity for the after party. And you gotta understand, like, at that party, there's all sorts of like characters, because like, he's got all sorts of people coming on his radio show, you know? Pretty crazy people coming on the show. This one chick that I've met before, her name is Foxy. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Foxy? Foxy, this is my girlfriend, Denise. So Denise like, oh, I've heard about you. And Denise gives her like a big hug. And then like, Foxy gives Denise a kiss. Jason's trainer is there. He's there with his girl. And then I'm like, hey guys, this is Foxy. And then his girl starts like making out with Foxy and stuff. And then he's all hyped. He's like, yeah. So then he starts making out with his girl and Foxy. And then like they start like grabbing Foxy's boobs. And I think he was sucking on Foxy's tits and everything in the club. So night's over, had like the best night ever. We're all walking back. Denise is like, oh my God, like Foxy was so nice. Like she was in love with me. Like she gave me a big hug and a kiss. And then the trainer goes, hell yeah. He's like, me too. He's like, I made out with her too. I'm like, slow down a minute. He's like, what? Dude, I don't know if you know. And then Denise is looking at me. She's like, oh shit. I'm like, I don't know if you know, but Foxy has a dick. He's like, what? He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, she's like one of the trannies that goes on like Jason's show all the time. She's a full-on like tranny, but you can't really tell she is. He's like, oh man, he's like, why don't you tell me? That ain't cool. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Be like, hey, this is Foxy the tranny? I didn't tell you to go make out with her and suck on her tits. So he's like, so Bob. That's what like a lot of street guys don't really realize. Like, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, these fucking jocks and Vert guys and da-da-da-da. And then once like they hang out with us, they're like, dude, you guys are way more fun than most of the street guys. And I'm like, yeah, you guys don't even know. I mean, Lizard knows, you know, like Lizard's hung out with us like a bunch, and you know, he had like a good ass time. Like every street dude that hangs out with us for a while, like it seems like they have like a completely different perception of what we really are, you know, after they've hung out with us. It was in 2007, right after Jake Brown took that crazy fall, almost killed himself. He was like celebrating for, again, like second place in the X Games and surviving that fall. And then Shaun won X Games that year. I got second place. We were all partying at my house, and then I got sushi for everyone. And then we're all like, all right, let's go downtown, let's go to a club. And then I told Shaun, I was like, hey, you won X Games, you're getting the limo. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, I'll get a limo. Limo shows up at the house, probably 12 of us. Jake, Danny Way, Shaun, myself, couple girls. Definitely a good crew. And we go all the way downtown. And then we're all partying like kind of like VIP with Shaun. And so he got super blacked out drunk. Next thing you know, we're at the table and we're like, where's Shaun? And then someone went outside to smoke and they're like, yo, the limo's gone. So I just called the driver, and I'm like, hey, where you at? He's like, oh, I'm already back up in Del Mar. I'm like, why'd you leave without us? He's like, well, Shawn White's paying for the limo and he told me to leave, so I left. And I'm like, you drove 13 people down and you left with one person? You didn't realize there was a problem there? Danny weighs all, Danny, if you know Danny, like, he snapped. He's like, Shawn White, he's like, that guy's done. He's like, he's cut, never skating the ramp ever again. And so we jump in 3 cabs, $100 cab ride. And then when we get to my house, the limo is parked right in front of my house. Shawn White is blacked out in the back of the limo, and he's puked all over the back of the limo. So I open the door, get in the limo, and I'm like, dude, like, you're a mess. So I go through his pockets, take his wallet, take his credit card, paid for all 3 cabs with his credit card, paid for the limo, gave the limo driver 0 tip, fuck off. So then he's like, yeah, but I gotta charge a $500 like cleanup fee for Shaun puking all over the back of the limo. I'm like, whatever. So I put everything on Shawn White's card. The funny thing is that at like 10 a.m. the next morning, the limo driver shows back up. He's like, the credit card bounced. So we're like, are you serious? Like Shaun White's credit card bounced? So Jake was stuck paying for the limo. We called Shaun back. We're like, dude, you better get your ass over to the house right now and give Jake the money back. So Shaun just drove back to the house and gave Jake the money. Called back the next day, apologized. And I mean, I understood. He had no clue what he was doing at that point. Probably just like stumbled up, you know, in the limo, and then the limo driver was probably like, you want me to drive you home? And I'm sure he was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? He didn't mean it, and he felt real bad the next day, and I mean, it's all good. I don't really plan on posting photos of her boobs. It just happens, you know? Sometimes I see the opening, and I just go for it. Sometimes I guess I'm just in the mood to Instagram some titties. Actually, you guys better follow me on Instagram at itsplg, because I'll post a photo of her tits today, January 23rd, 2013. You guys better follow me.
Now I played on corner